All right, here we are, another new version of DC20 on Foundry. This is 0.8.3. I'll go through some of the changes that have happened. I think it was released early this morning on November 4th, 2024. The first thing we'll look at is the roles pop-up. Now, if you've used DC20 in the past, you'll recognize the role pop-up because it'll come up when someone tries, a DM sends you a message of some sort. You won't see that, of course, but it'll have that pop-up and it'll look like this one. So now all the roles have this pop-up. So before, you used to click on the name of the item and it would have all the list of things that you can change with it. And then there was a D20 on the bottom. You had to right click to see if there's any advantage or disadvantage or whatnot. And now all you do is just click you hover over the icon, it turns into a D20, you click on that and up this comes up. Now, the options will get added as well. Here's a marshal that I can show you a little bit better. For example, you click on Dagger and he's a marshal. He's got so many different options, plus being a rogue. As you add the parts to it, you'll see that it'll have an expected cost on here, right? So it'll be 1 for the actual attack, right? If I remove that, that's 1 for the actual attack. Then 1 for power attack, 1 for extended attack. So it keeps track down here so you know how much it's going to cost to put in strike. And then, of course, down here, this is spending an action for advantage. So now this will take all of my stuff. I will roll, and it says, oh, I don't have enough action points. Look at that. I didn't. Look at all that, and it's still there though, and that's nice. Or is it nice? I think it is. So now when I do it, I have Doug selected. He hit himself apparently. So when I click it back up, oh, it does all erase. Good. Okay. Also, before when you see, right click on that D20 to get any of the automations. Now it's this button right here, just like it was when you had to make a saving throw. You click on that to see if there's any expected rolls. I should probably put them all in a combat of some sort. So they're on a pirate ship right now. So let's find some bandits over here. And their captain. Put them all into initiative. Make the DC something easy. Rolling initiative. It's up here now. I haven't gone through the change of the character sheet. We'll get to that, but up here, attack check. This pops up. So that window now is universal, which is really nice. So it is totally universal for all things. Somebody has initiative. I'm using athletics check for that. Why not? And okay, so now we'll actually get into some sort of combat, so it keeps track of the action points and so on better. So let's say PETA actually has a condition of some sort. Give them exposed and hindered. As soon as I find the hindered button, not in alphabetical order. So if I want to attack that bandit with my, won't be a bullwhip, crackling lightning, again, I click on it. Here comes the screen with the different things I can do with it. Currently, it will cast 2 action points and a mana. I'll put lots of mana into it. It doesn't kind of keep track of your mana when it comes to like how much you're allowed to spend, because you veterans will know that you can only spend your mana up to your combat mastery. So, but it allows you to do it. So just because the system allows you to do it doesn't mean you should. And if I click on this to roll the run check, I have disadvantage for my hindered. So that's the button there for it. Then, of course, I can give myself advantage, and someone gave me a help die. And roll. And hit. This all works out the same. Saving throw comes up. So I can roll. There it failed. I can just add the days. Now, this part's not new. Just showing you that a lot of the stuff that you're used to is still the same. Also, the one thing I did notice as well is that the skill checks, there's no area to put spend an action point for advantage in here. So it does still have all the rest of what you're used to, but it doesn't have that. So there's the grapple check for that. I think that's it for the pop-up part. That all you need to really know. So it's you click on the weapon or ability. Oh, if you wanted to show somebody something and not actually use it as well, because before you would just click the D20, would have put it in the, it would ping it in chat. Same kind of thing as you do here. Destroyer Savant. You put it up. This isn't, and this is nothing that costs anything. So you put it in chat so other people can read the ability for what they're doing. Okay, so that's the pop-up. The Compendium Browser. The Compendium Browser is amazing. We'll probably actually get into that when we roll a new character with the character Charactermancer, which is the creation wizard, which is amazing. Guys, it's got a lot of the Compendium Browser. Now, maybe I'm missing. I can't see a way to actually just open up the Compendium Browser on its own. But like in your character sheet, if you are trying to look for an item or whatnot, you'll see that there is a Compendium Browser button. For example, like Ancestry. This book now, it opens up the compendium. So if you're in your inventory and you want to add a new item, does that have to be in edit mode? Yeah, okay, edit mode. You see the book. That is the Compendium Browser, which will pop up, and it thinks that I'm going to want to have a weapon, but in the items you can do equipment, consumable, and it actually goes through. These are the check marks here, where it'll go through all your modules and your system and your individual worlds. So system is, of course, what came from DC20 system that Patrick made. World is what you would find in here. So, for example, if I only wanted world for consumable, oh, I didn't pick up the rations. Okay, maybe I'm talking out of my butt. It's consumable. Then you put it as a type. Food. Maybe it'll show up now. I think that's the idea, but maybe it's not working. Not sure. Anyway, modules will come up, which is really nice because I've made a lot of custom modules. So these are a lot of items that I've made, potion of longevity and so on. And you can actually just grab the item that you're looking for and put it directly in here. It's done. Perfect. So the Compendium Browser is extremely nice. I just wish there was a way to do it from maybe this side for all the different things. For example, in here, you're in your item tab, so it'll go through all the different items, right? So if you go into spells and you click on here, and you're going to get your spell browser. So, well, no, I'm in features. I'm not in spells. Well, good thing that the software knows what I'm doing. And you can also search for the subclass features or whatever if you're trying to, or class features if you're trying to, multi-class, you're trying to grab something from it. So that's really nice. And then if you go into, these are the techniques and so on. So there's all the different techniques. So it pops up like that. I just wish there was a way to pop up the whole thing, like all of the compendium. Here's my spell one not working out. It doubles everything. Not sure why. If I have it just on my system spells, then it's fine. And here's the system spells. But if I put it on my modules, it doubles them. I'm not sure why I have. This is my homebrew spells. I made only 10. So it's interesting. If I put it on modules, it also shows the other individual ones, but for the system ones, but only once. Don't know. But it's really handy to have. This is a great improvement. for certain. Okay, so that's the let's go to the actual. Oh, we want to do the sheet rework. Okay, so obviously the sheet has changed. I'll get out of edit mode. You see, it's handy that it's all up in the top here. I really like this animation. I know, simple things, right? But I do like that. All of your attributes are all nicely timed up. Your checks and saves. It's really cleaned up. This window doesn't need anything. Like, you don't have to have it popped out now. It's information that you don't need to have while you're fighting or whatnot, because, I mean, let's face it, the character sheet takes up half of the map, which on its own, even not shrunk, if it's full out, it's well, you all have the same problem of I do. It takes up the entire space, especially when you have, I mean, you can shrink this too, but if you're fighting, you're going to want to have the chat open, and you're going to want to have the combat tracker open. You have your character sheet open, and now you can't see the map. So having this window not necessarily there helps. I don't know if you can know this, but if you double click on the title bar, it does pop out. That's a Foundry thing. That's not a DC20 thing. That happens with every Foundry window you can do that with. But a lot of people don't seem to know that part. So the tabs have changed in the side now. They were up at the top here. Now they just on the right-hand side, which is nice to go through. And on your front page, remember how that was a square that popped out? Well, it's right here now to go to the different skill checks and so on. There is a search. If you have too many things, there's a search. It doesn't like go live as you're typing. You do have to hit the search button or the enter button, and then it'll work. Same thing. When you're removing it and so on, you do have to hit enter, and it'll then search. The settings button over top left-hand corner is really helpful for your overrides and so on, because you may run your game differently than as written, and that's okay, because I do. There's some things that I already house rule and the game's not done yet. So these are the areas where you would be changing that. For example, even in edit mode, you can't change your movement abilities here, but you can do it right into here. If you want custom ground speed, you turn that on. You change it now to 4, and I'll definitely change it back before this player wants to. So now it's 4. So that's where you would change that type of stuff. You may miss it, right? I mean, it's on the pop out and it's way over in the corner, but that is where you would be changing this type of stuff, and I don't want to do the overrides at that point. Didn't fix that. Maybe I need to change that back if I erase it. Nope. Uh-oh, I screwed up for life now. I'll just put it back to 5, I guess. Okay. Monster sheets have also changed. There's the bandit. It's, as a DM, having a nice little window is so much helpful. Same type of things too. You hit the button. Now there's the power attack and the slow attack. Very nice clean window. It's the cogwheel here, the settings on this tab, like on a character sheet, that, we just looked at that. That was up here to go into this part, the custom. And on the NPC sheet, it's right on the tab there. So and this is also where you set up your skills, your damage resistance, because you don't want all that on your front page. When you're running a monster, you want it really nice and simple. And look at that. They already have the skills that you've already used handily right there. It's not that giant list that it was before. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I did want to show you something else on here, on this character sheet. Get out of edit mode. Is that there's this button here, show in simplified list mode. So if I do that, it actually just shows up at the top. And if you don't want that up there, because again, like you're scrolling all the way down to find out where those things are, even if you click all these eyeballs to shrink it down, it's still quite a long ways down to the bottom, and there you have it up there. But if you don't want it there, you click that, it removes it back to the bottom there. So that was really neat that I saw that I really liked. There's also automatic token modifications that are really interesting. I'm not exactly sure how they work, how he's done it, so good for him. But what it does is if I'm going to create a NPC. This is Bob the Orc. Bob the Orc has dark vision. So I'm going to put in, actually, no, that's dumb. I'll do tremor sense, let's say. And then now, so even though this is where you would normally put it in detection mode, right? And it doesn't show it there. When you put Bob the Orc in there, well, I need a wall so they can't see. Let's draw a wall there. So that way, now there's a wall in the way, but the tremor sense picked up right away. So now what he has done is it's already added in here. See, it's the dark vision. If he had dark vision, he would have put it in there. Light perception, field tremor has already been added in the detection mode. So that's really interesting. In the original one over here, it's not there. So it's when you're moving the character sheet to the map, it updates that. It also does the same thing for size. So if I want to change him to, Bob's kind of big. So he's large. Again, in the token, when it's on here, it still says 1 by 1. Now, this is the one that wears me out. I don't know how he does it. So if I put Bob on here, he's now large. But in the token, it still says 1 and 1. So I'm uncertain how he's managed to do that. I don't know if this overrides. So if I go 3 by 3, will that change it? It doesn't. So it's written in there somehow that if I do it live, if I go huge, will it do anything? No, it won't. Oh, yeah, it will. I have to move it to update it. Interesting. Okay. But that auto thing is quite nice. I quite like that part. All right, Bob the Orc, you got to go. And I'll remove this wall. What else? Those are those improvements to advanced system choice costs. Oh, the ancestry mixing, all that stuff is really, really good. But let's look at this stuff during the character creation wizard. So I'm going to make a new character and name my character. Well, we've already had Bob, so we're going to have Fred. And this is where you would override if you're going to put in your points manually. Again, it defaults to the point buy system, which most people like to use, but we're all different. Some of us want to roll dice and so on. Some of us want to have an array. All this is fine. So this is where if I'm putting my points in, Bob, I want to -2 intelligence, so let's put some more might into it. Keeps track again, right? Save masteries, might and charisma, why not? Ancestry. Now this is fantastic what he has done here. So of course you can, if you click on it, you can see which description of the ancestries. It even goes into the modules because I've made a psionicist add-on for the Scion to Cyborn right there. The Cyborn is already built into this, which is amazing. And if I want more than one, there's a mix ancestries button up here. And you'd be like, hey, which ones do you want to mix? There's that compendium button where it'll pop up the different ancestries. And I want to mix Angelborn and Cyborn. Yeah, so that's why I wanted. Angelborn's a little. Let's do Dragonborn to Cyborn. So I click finish here, and it's created one for me right there. Cyborn and Dragonborn. It's a mixture of both. You can, at this point, you can only do 2. He hasn't made it so you can mix more than 2 because those come with different rules and so on. Right? Because if you have more than 2, then you only get 4 points to spend and so on. So, but we're going to do Cyborn and Dragonborn. Background, there's only one right now. And that's all that's needed in my opinion. Class. Again, it pulled in the Scion from my compendium that I made, so good for it. And why not? Well, you've all seen Scions before, so let's pick up something a little bit more interesting. I want to do Druid, and I'll show you why later. Here is the starting equipment. It tells you, if you hover over there, what you get, depending on what class you did. Nothing for other. So weapons, I get one weapon. I click here, and guess what? It pops up for the weapons. It even pops up some of the stuff that, you shouldn't start with a greatsword +1, but or a hammer of throwing, but it does pop up all the items. Again, if I didn't want to put in modules, I just want my system. And then I'm going to say, hey, he's going to have brass knuckles. Here's the information on brass knuckles if you wanted it, but you could just honestly drag it over to there. There's your brass knuckles. Armor, same thing. We're going to switch it to equipment. I just want the system, so because I have added a lot of different equipment items for my magic items, or I can even just say, hey, give me the light armors. There it is, novice light armor, done. Then here's the Druid Domain features. There's no choices for the Druid like there is for some of them. Druid Craft, all those were easy. So here is my ancestry now that I've mixed it. So all the different choices. And you have 5 points to spend. So I want Dark Vision, I want Draconic Breath, but I want Psionic Magic. I'm at 0 now, yeah. So I want that's the flavor. I want the Shrouded Mind, and apply. Known cantrips. So I have 2 choices. Again, I click the button for the Compendium Browser. Up comes, should default to cantrip. It doesn't, but that's fine. You can go into here and say cantrip. And it's double them all, of course, because that's I think it's my own bug. But I'm going to take Grasping Vines. That's one of my cantrips, by the way. That's why, if you don't recognize it, that's why. And why not? I'll take Thibault. Now it doesn't say keep track of, hey, what type of spells you're supposed to have, because that's mostly up in the air anyway. And sometimes it's a little confusing what spells you love or what class, because there's so few spells. So it doesn't it doesn't say, hey, you're not allowed to use Thibault as a Druid because of page 17, section A or whatever. But you don't, it doesn't do that for you, which in my opinion it shouldn't. So 3 known spells, same thing. I'll switch to spells. I'll grab, he's a druid, so I can't go to schools. So why don't what kind of school should I do? Astronomy school, interesting. That's only Misty Step, right? Well, he's a druid. He needs Crack and Lightning. I thought I made my own. I made some of my own spells as well for druid that I really liked. Flash Freeze. And Tethering Vines. There we go. That was very druidy. Apply that. Here's your skills that pops up. All these buttons work. You can change the skill to knowledge. It gets changed. You can always change it back. But he needs nature and occultism and animal and survival. I can again switch it to languages so I can learn some more languages. At this point, it doesn't really matter. And done. You have a character, which is really good. It has all your abilities, features, spells, which is nice. And it automatically added Druidcraft, right? Because you're a druid, you get these things. Also, which I really like is there's the subclass here, and right now in the, as written, there is no subclasses. But if you click on that, it actually pops up the subclasses, and it pops up all the ones that I've made. So it's gone through. Now it doesn't sort them by class, because the reason is that that's not built into the system yet. So if you go into subclasses and you look at my Forge Cleric, in the configuration, there's no like, hey, this is for clerics. So there's no flag right there to say that you know what subclass joins which class, so it can't really be in the compendium if it's not a field to search. So that's why that doesn't show up like that. There is, when you level up, same type of very nice pop-up comes up, which is great. It is weird that it always defaults to Martial. I've had a couple of my players who were casters that chose Martial because that was what it was defaulted to. So then they had stamina points and some weird, interesting mix. But also, this is where you would drop a talent, right? So open up the compendium. This compendium is amazing, and it already goes into the different features and so on immediately that I could steal from other classes if that's what I wanted. But I want a talent, so I'm going to take spellcasting. Drop it on there. Apply advancement. Cantrips, right? I get a new cantrip. So this one you've already seen before. I'm just going to drop acid bolt, drop acid. Apply advancement, spells, same thing. Spells. These are, let's actually get spells. So Arcane Ward and Blazing Chains. Good. I get an attribute to spend. I can't make these any higher, so I'll increase my charisma for some more grits. And done. Look at that. So, Charactermancer, fantastic. And hey, when it goes to level 3, does it ask for a subclass? Now I'm curious. Well, level 3, I get another skill point, so that's cool. I'm going to put it in Knowledge, and then I'm going to put it in History and Arcana. That's cool. No, it didn't ask for subclass. Okay. But, again, that's not really in the game yet. So, my subclass is going to be... Archphase is for Warlocks, obviously. For Druids, let's do a Land Druid. Land Druid. Pops up. Favorite terrain. What terrains do you want? I want forest and coast. And adds more spells. It's supposed to be a spells, so I will switch it to spells. I'm going to get Catapult because that's very druidy, right? Do I get any points? I don't get any. Oh, right there, 2 more skill points. Awareness and influence, why not? And done. So, Charactermancer is fantastic. It's really good. The last thing I want to show you is the companion sheet, which I'm very impressed with, I gotta say. Extremely impressed with. Because this here Druid, where's my Druid? Peta is a Druid. And currently Peta has, in the party's got some of his, no, they're just NPC sheets for the wild forms that he uses. But now what you can do is link them, and it's really good. So let's say I'm going to add another character, and this is going to be his gecko. And it is a player companion NPC. So, well, it's not really an NPC, but so player companion. So with that, here comes the box. Looks very similar, of course, to a NPC box, right? Same type of box. But the differences are that, look over here, you can link the owner. So the owner is Peta. So I drag him over there, click and drag from the Actors tab into there. Now he's the owner of it. And you can go into the config here and link everything to it. So you can even link health. See how the health changes automatically? Even add it as temp hit points. You can link your intelligence, well, that didn't change. Charisma, that didn't change either. Agility, there we go. So agility changed to match it. So this is all great configurations in here. And also you'll see that if the new gecko out there, because their health is linked, if I take damage here, I don't know what this number pops up for some reason. I'm not sure what that is about. It removed from temp automatically. That's new. Didn't do that before. Good job, Patrick. Okay, so I removed that, and then his health, you can see it's already been changed. I increased that health, and one thing to know is, as well, if I take it down to 7, if you hover over here, it doesn't look like it's changed. You open it up, and then it's changed, and has a weird number over there again. The opposite's is not true. So if I increase the health up to here, then if I hover over Peta here, it is actually hovered properly. So I think that's everything, and that's quite a lot of good stuff here. This was amazing work. The Compendium Browser is great. The companion thing is great. The character matcher is great. Excellent job, Patrick, for sure. And I hope this helped you guys. And till next time.